Boss here, and say hello to...
Kid Kuma. What?
Anywho, Kuma here is a foreign exchange student, and he's going to be joining us here. So, for him to get to know me better, I thought I'd make a list of my top 10 favorite video games. For the moment, that is. I mean, this list could possibly change in the future, but these are my favorite top 10 as it stands now. The rules for this list are going to be as follows.
Only one game per franchise.
Also, it has to be something I'd be willing to pick up on the spot and play the crap out of.
Replayability.
And Kid Kuma wants to say something.
Potential spoilers ahead. He didn't think it out, so don't freak out if something awesome happens in the footage.
Enough chatter. Time for some games.
Ikuzo! Number 10.
I've enjoyed quite a few life simulation games, but I think the Sim series has always had a special place in my heart. The newest addition to the franchise is no exception. It's a fun game, the new emotion menu makes the game feel more involved, the emotional status the Sims express and the new whims they have under certain feelings match how people actually act sometimes. Yeah, totally normal. The only extreme, super extreme thing is that some intense emotions could even cause death. Yeah, embarrassed to death. I don't even know how what would possibly... Drama queen. That's all I have to say on that. Next!
Number 9!
Now we have Super Smash Bros. Wii Brawl U Ultra Lux, whatever the heck the new one is called. Of course, they had to go ahead and make a new entry in the Super Smash Bros. Franchise, and you know what? This game is great too. I mean, of course, Melee and Brawl... Yeah, and Brawl and the original were great, but this one feels like an improvement on those also, and the new characters are fun, although I hate Duck Hunt. Hate him. And yeah, this one feels great, and look at that new skin for Link. Fierce Davy Link skin. Hell yeah! But that aside, you know what? I've always loved this game. It's great to play it with friends, and it only gets more fun each time that I whoop one of their butts. But yeah, moving on.
Number 8.
Borderlands 2 is a game that changed shooters for me. The bright graphics, RPG elements, the character diversity, and the multitude of the guns. Bang bang! It is great! This game offers a distinct change from other shooters in this day and age. It's a breath of fresh air in a genre that is overly gritty and has been far too dark in terms of the landscape. I mean, look at this game! It feels like a fun game rather than just a gruddy and muddy war area with enemies in different buildings. Ugh. That is why it gets a place on my list. That, and you know, Moxie. Aw, yeah, baby.
Number 7!
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Yeah, that's right, a Sonic game that is not one of the original ones. Sorry guys, but this game was amazing for me. Just listen, the music for this game is awesome. This game was great when I first got it back on the Nintendo GameCube. It was beautiful, easy to pick up, and fun to play. That, and look... Now what? Look at the Shadow guy. He looked like he was the coolest guy in there. He has freaking rocket sneakers. Who else has that? Slick as heck. Alright, so the Sonic and Shadow levels were really my favorites. The other levels were pretty hit and miss, especially when I had to deal with using those clunky robots. The PC port of this game is absolute garbage though, the controls being clunky and spastic. However, what really saved this game, no matter what console it's on, is the chows. They are so friggin' adorable, like, oh my god, what the fuck, applesauce. How can something so small and worthless in terms of the actual gameplay be so important to the actual fun factor of the game as a whole? I would actively search for the animals to give these chows in order to make them look as awesome as possible and have them kick butt in the karate. Yeah, they do karate and race. What's up? Look at its little face!
Number 6!
Okami for the Wii. What can I say about this game that hasn't already been said before? I hate drawing. Not really, I just wanted to say something I haven't said about it before. Anyway, I've always loved wolves. And when they made a game about you playing as a wolf and a Japanese goddess at the same time, well, I damn near broke the shelf when I grabbed it. The game is beautiful and the drawing is a lot of fun. I mean, even the puzzle elements they put into fighting somebody is pretty cool, and you always learn just what you need right before fighting them. Or at least in terms of you won't get an enemy you can't beat. Unless, I don't know, you go into the wrong area. It hasn't happened to me. Anyway, picking it up is kind of difficult if you're further along in the game than you remember, but it's still a lot of fun to play, and thanks to the encyclopedia stuff it has in it, it makes it easy to remember how to play and get back into it. Next!
Number 5!
The Legend of Dragoon on the PS1 was my first exposure to the RPG world, and I don't regret it for a moment. I think one of the things about this game that actually got me the most when I was young was the enormity of the dragons that you actually have to fight in this game. The most innovative feature of this game was the addition system, which actually let you time your character's attacks in order to deal more damage, which was totally different from Final Fantasy, which all you would do is basically tell them what to attack and watch it happen. This one you actually felt like you were in control of the fighting, which was pretty awesome. That, and also you can turn into a Dragoon, which is a dragon warrior, and you can just tear stuff up. And just listen to that theme music. Amazing.
Number 4!
Fallout 3 and all of its DLC were extremely fun. You know, except for when 3 Dog talks about fighting a good fight when being a cowardly bitch back in the GNR tower. But I digress. The VAT system is really fun and is an interesting addition to a game that is mostly a shooter with RPG elements, although some will argue that it's an RPG with shooter elements to it. But it felt really good to mix between guns and turn-based RPG type strats when you have to use VATs because your own aim is total crap. Did I just rap? Nice. Although, even then, sometimes VATs will fail to work properly, so if you throw a grenade, it won't necessarily hit your target. Or worse, the game will just lock up for no reason. Especially when you have all the DLC loaded up at once. Looking at you, Bethesda.
Number 3!
Now, I know people probably say that Final Fantasy VIII is overrated, but what can I say? I love it. That it's not as overrated as Final Fantasy VII. Moving on, the junctioning system was a bit difficult to understand at first, especially if you didn't know some of the ways to actually boost your characters really early on. But after a while it becomes a breeze and makes it simple to overpower any enemies. And it is always fun to just blast away your enemies with a frickin' gunblade. Yeah, you see that? It's a sword with a revolver attached. I want one so bad. And the best part is, when you're playing, you actually get to pull the trigger to deal extra damage when you're playing as Squall. That, and you get to summon these guardian forces that once you unlock the boost, you can use to blast away enemies, especially if they're weak to their type of damage. I don't even know why you wouldn't play this game. And getting up in this level of the games, it's pretty hard to draw the line, guys, so hang tight.
Number 2!
Tales of Symphonia was such an amazing game, I'm surprised I didn't hear more about it when it first came out for the Nintendo GameCube. It's a really fun game and the RPG elements are a blast. And look at this guy, Lloyd, he dual wields swords like a boss. Not only that, but all the characters use interesting weapons and you have optional skits which allow you to learn more about the characters. Also, depending on the skits you do throughout the game, you can actually have a different ending, which is always a nice thing when you have an RPG, that little feeling of get to change the end of the game. And also I feel like this game really got overlooked on the Nintendo GameCube, which is why I'm so glad that they re-released it on PlayStation in order to give people a chance to play it, and I do not regret having bought this game twice. I'm proud of it. And have you guys noticed that they really like using red-clad heroes nowadays? Wonder why.
Woohoo! Number 1!
Now, does it really come as a surprise that my favorite game is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask? This was my first grand-scale adventure game when I was a child, and it frustrated me to no end. I spent hours just trying to go up that slide the first time I tested it out in Best Buy, and that is why I had to get that game. But still, there was no greater feeling than defeating Majora at the end, but when I found out that I needed all the masks for something cool, and got the Fierce Deity mask, I dang near wet my PJs. I had arrived as the most awesome guy in the game and got to tear up Majora. Oh yeah, that's right. And only to find out later that you were actually the bad guy and all that when I was able to understand the magnitude of it. Playing this game has given me endless joy.
Thanks for watching my top 10 favorite games. Let me know what your favorite games are down in the comments below. I check the comments, I promise. And until next time, guys, peace out.